G'day,
Hello there.
I'm Aussie Robbo,
I'm English Jen.
and we're at Alton Towers today.
Yeah, so this is kind of a long time in the making. I haven't been back here for 10 years.
Yeah, it's been about 12 years for me.
So we're really excited. We've come back to see family after a year and a half, and why not have a day out at Alton Towers? It's cold, it's wet.
Well, in Florida you kind of get the theming with the really warm weather, and in England we get the rain.
So
we go to theme parks, so it's kind of in keeping with the whole English theme at theme parks, really.
So we're going to see how many rides we can get in and how many new rides we can discover, because it's a long time since I've been and lots have opened up since. And hopefully you'll join us.
See how wet we go.
So first off, Nemesis, which is one of my favourites. I haven't been on it so long. This is my favourite ride. Saying that Expedition Everest is actually my favourite ride now, but it used to be my regular go-to, like run round to get on again, and it didn't disappoint. We're on the back row as well, which is...
Yeah, we got the back row. You went on one side, I went on the other. Initially I was in the middle, but then I kind of realised you get a better experience on the edges.
Yeah.
So I rushed to the side. And actually, I felt like I had to lift my leg at one stage because we were at the very back, and I felt like my leg was going to kind of hit something at one stage. So I was like, "Oh!"
Millions of people go on this a year, but he thinks he's going to be the one that hits his leg on something. So as it is today, it is a bit rainy. It's a bit cold.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad though on the ride.
No, it wasn't.
You got a nice little breeze, but
waiting times are quite high because it's a weekend.
One thing I will say about that one is it felt very smooth. I didn't feel like I was being jolted around like some of the Disney rides that we were on at Paris. I didn't feel like my body was kind of being battered or anything. It was just a nice smooth ride. Even though you're going upside down, you're being thrown all over the place. So yeah, no, that was really good.
Some of us were here for Nemesis opening day.
But yeah, great first ride. I really enjoyed that one.
So next is going to be what I will still call Air, but is now apparently called Galactica. I'm sure it'll be the same ride, just with different dressings. So we'll let you know how that goes shortly. Like hot dogs in the rain. So yeah, we've been on the Retro Squad. What was it? Funk and Fly.
Yeah.
Scarier than any of the other rides. It's shakier and old school, so worth having a go on. Kind of fun with the rock anthems. But next we're going to head over to, what's his name? Big Bob? On Wicker Man.
Wicker Man.
And we've never been on that, so we're looking forward to that. But first, hot dogs.
So we just finished having lunch. We just kind of went off to a little bit of the side because all the tables and chairs were pretty wet and soggy. So we just grabbed lunch. It was average. I mean, it was basically the same food that you get in a cinema.
Cinema hot dog.
Yeah, it was.
Fries.
Yeah, it was quick. A lot of the other booths that we saw on other sections of the park, they had quite long lines, so we didn't. That's why we just grabbed it there and then. And we were going to go on Galactica, but even though the ride was kind of running with people in the queue, they closed off the queue because it was having technical issues. So I got a load of footage, which you might be seeing right now, and hopefully we'll go back and give it a try later on. But now we're on our way to Wicker Man to see Big Bob.
So that was our first ride ever on Wicker Man.
Yeah, it was actually a fantastic ride. Great theming to start off with.
I mean, woody smell.
when you're going in the line, you don't see too much until you get right into that little cabin towards the entrance to the when you get on the ride. But it's really good. It's quite well themed. It's quite dark in there.
Yeah, which
you walked into a post.
I walked into 2 posts in the dark, and somebody didn't bother helping me. They just laughed. So yeah, that was really good. No sign of Edward Woodward or Nicolas Cage or any bees. Oh, the bees! So I was quite disappointed about that. But yeah, it was a fun ride.
Just how did you find the ride?
I've been banged around like nobody's business, not in a good way.
It's an interesting ride because it's obviously it's set in a period, so there's wood everywhere. It's not really very modern looking. The whole thing is constructed of wood, and it's got a rickety feel to it, like an old-time roller coaster. I don't know if that's deliberate or not, but it's obviously a fairly new ride. But it's like a pier, old.
Yeah, it's like an old flatbed pier ride. But yeah,
so it's not a smooth ride in any stretch of the imagination. But once you get through that initial dark tunnel at the top, and then you start going down, it then gets really fast, and it's really fast the whole time.
But it's not, I would say, it's not squeaky bum time kind of.
It's interesting. It takes you by surprise because it sends out all that mist when you're first about to go out of the black tunnel, and then you're just constantly going at speed the whole time after that. Because I think it gives you a bit of a surprise, and kind of.
Well, I've never seen it before, and because you can't really see much of it from the sides.
Yeah.
You don't know what to. If you've just not been on it for ever, then you have no idea what to expect. So yeah, it was cool. I'd go on it again.
One kind of funny, interesting thing is that because it was raining the time we were on there, the droplets kept hitting my head, and they actually hurt. There was a bit of pressure going on there when they were hitting your forehead, wasn't
there? So you're being jolted around, hitting elbows, moisture in the face like darts.
Yeah,
but apart from that, it's fun.
It's definitely not a smooth ride by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a fun one, definitely, for sure.
On again.
Yeah.
Head to the towers maybe and see what's over there, because I have no idea where anything is now. 10 years have passed and I still have no idea. So
about the park or just life in general?
Life in general.
Yeah.
Lots.
Right, so we just got off, what was it called?
Rita.
And what do you think?
I've never been on it before. Every time I've been years ago was 10 years ago was closed, like lots of things. Same today, but we managed to get on this one. So yeah, really good. I'd say Aerosmith vibes at the start for the kind of launch.
Yeah, Aerosmith outdoors. It feels like it goes for a bit longer, the initial launch, and it feels a bit faster, if anything.
Yeah, it definitely feels. But it's actually, I really enjoyed it.
It's a very fast ride. I mean, even after the initial speed burst, it keeps going constantly. But that also helps because it makes it go. Well, the ride feels like it finishes quite quick.
I'm a big scaredy cat as well, and I'll tell you now, there was no case of squeaky bum time on that. It was, for me, it was kind of just a fun. Is that make sure you don't breathe in when you get launched, because I did, and then I couldn't breathe out until we got round the bends, and I was like thinking, I'm going to scream like that. So, yeah, really enjoyed it. So 13 is currently closed, mainly because of the rain, I believe, that we've had today.
Yeah.
So we're going to head over to Smiler, which I've never been on it before.
No, it's a new-ish ride, I think so. Yeah.
For us, it's a newish ride. So we've just actually managed. Rude. So we've just actually managed to go on 13. It was closed down, and we just happened to be filming, and they opened it up. So we got on it first, literally like nobody else, and then they added like 5 people.
So what did you think?
It's still one of my. I really love 13. I forgot. I mean, it's been nearly 10 years. I'd forgotten about that initial sort of hill drop.
Yeah, I mean, when you said you wanted to go on it, I had no recollection of this ride at all. So I must have been on it one time, but it's interesting. When you go that initial climb, it goes really, really high. Something I noticed is when we were up there right at the top, well, you wouldn't look down, but you're right at the top of the trees, and I could hear like the birds. The birds felt so close when we were at the top of the trees, the noise and stuff.
So close.
And then you just go straight over the top, and then it's a big drop. It's kind of like Oblivion, but not as dramatic, I guess.
No, not as dramatic.
Yeah.
No. But it's a fun ride.
And then it meanders, kind of thing.
Meanders.
And then you go into this building right behind, I think.
Yes, this is the surprise room.
So you go in that room, then it does like a little mini drop to kind of scare you a little bit, and then it drops big time, and then it starts going backwards, like Everest, I guess, in Disney.
Very much like Expedition Everest in Disney, Animal Kingdom,
which I like. It's pitch black for a long time in there.
Which I really, really like. And then it's kind of, there's nothing really drastic happens going backwards in the dark. It's kind of quite chilled out, really.
Yeah. It tries to give the impression that it's going a bit scary, but there's nothing really scary about it.
So, squeaky bum time at the start, but once that's over, it's all cool. It's like, So for drops, definitely at the start.
But great to get on it, and great to go straight to the front, because it just opened. Just been on Smiler and had a fantastic ride. Where to begin? So to start off with, why didn't you go on there?
My squeaky bum decided to chicken out. I've never seen it before up close, and it kind of made me freak out a bit, so I decided to step back. I went on the retro rides, however, so I went on Enterprise and Mixtape. Right. Probably worse off on there than I would have been on here. So what would you think? What was it like?
Yeah, so forget you've chickened out, you know this, right? It's like a tale of two rides, really. And the weird thing is, it took ages to get there. It took longer than what they said it was for the 70 minutes, I'm sure. So when you're underneath, you see the ride all the time, and it's always kind of in your face. And it's quite exciting at first. But once I got inside, once I got to the ride, they pulled the bar down, and then there was no seatbelt that connected at the bottom. So all of a sudden I got really kind of panicky, and I'm like, are you sure there shouldn't be a seatbelt there? Are you sure there shouldn't be something connecting just in case something happens? And so then my mind started racing and thinking about all the stuff that could happen, about me falling out of the ride. But I was in, started going, go through the black part, starts rolling. It's quite a fast ride, going all over. It's basically like loads and loads of corkscrews over and over again, just corkscrew all the time. That's all I can describe it as, just loads and loads of corkscrews. Your seat comes out of your bum comes out of the seat a couple of times. It's weird. Once I was on the ride and I went through a few corkscrews, I kind of settled into it, and I wasn't too worried afterwards. You kind of you're fine after that.
Did it have the plummeting feeling, or that was the thing that put me off?
Then it's you do the first half, and then it kind of stops, and it comes to a stop at the bottom of that big steep incline where it's just straight up and down. And then all of a sudden, when you're going up and down like the incline, you get quite worried again because you're wondering how steep that drop is again on the other side. But it's not that steep actually. And then you're just starting the ride all over again. But your heart's beating quite fast in the middle of it because you just feel like you've just done this ride, but really you're only halfway through. It's pretty epic. It's pretty epic. I imagine it's basically what Velocicoaster is like in Universal. So I imagine they're very similar in terms of the rush. But this one felt like a long ride. You got your money's worth on that one. No, I loved it. Definitely love to do it again. Next time we're back. Yeah, stellar ride. Awesome.
And I'll do it next time.
Yeah, right.
I will. That was the one I was most excited to go on today. So
I can't believe you didn't realise how extreme that was.
I think because we've been on the other ones today, I was just, anyway.
But no, I loved it. Fantastic ride.
A very exhausting day done. We're heading back to the monorail and back to the car. And what about yourself? How have you been?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I feel like the rides have kind of got bigger and bigger and culminated with finishing off with Smiler. So I think that was a good way to finish off the day at the park for me. Smiler was amazing. Loved it as a ride. I feel like it's taken rides to the next level possibly.
Wow.
In terms of scope and epicness, maybe?
So I promise that next time I will go on Smiler, because that's the one I was looking forward to the most, weirdly. But yeah, so as you've seen, it's been a very, very wet, rainy day. It's been cold. They do have a policy called the rainy day. Is it the rainy day guarantee?
Yeah, if it rains for more than an hour constantly, I believe, or something, then you possibly get another pass.
We have definitely had rain for more than an hour on multiple occasions today. We've actually managed to keep pretty dry considering.
Yeah.
But it has kind of hindered the day. So if you're thinking of coming, always keep in mind that they do have that option of, they may offer you a redeemable voucher to come back. So you can basically redeem that over the website if they announce your day was indeed a rainy day. You just check on the website. So that gives us a little bit of hope of a return visit, and hopefully we'll see you next time. And as always, check us out below and leave your comments which your favourite rides are, what you think of Smiler. Would you have chickened out like me? Or would you have been a brave little boy and gone ahead with it? You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. So it's Robbo and Gent on Twitter and Aussie Robbo and the English Gent on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we'll be posting some photos on there, of course, and some video, slow-mo, everything you can chuck at it. And like I say, hope we'll be back sometime in the summer. Because there's going to be...
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Be rude not to.